Welcome everybody. It's me, Jordan Taylor, at Expand the Visual, expandthevisual.com, and I am the author of the recent book, How to Wash a Brain, Rote Learning Secrets for Homeschool, High School, and Beyond. And I'm continuing my video series to give people some tips during these hard times in the pandemic. This is back to school week for a lot of people. For some of you, this is your second or third week back to school. I know for me, it was my first week, full week of teaching. And already I'm noticing a huge problem, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. When people are at home virtual learning, or if you're in the classroom, you think, hey, I can just multitask, bro. I'm going to have my Instagram up on this side of my computer screen, and I'm going to have the lesson here, and I'm going to have a YouTube video playing in the background I'm listening to, and then I'm also listening to my teacher. Well, I'm here to tell you that multitasking is a load of bullcrap. I'm just going to have to say it. Multitasking is such a load of bullcrap. It's what people say when they just want to get away with ignoring the thing that they're supposed to be paying attention to. So I want you to think of it this way. Imagine entering a dark room and your attention is like a flashlight. Well, that flashlight, it can shine anywhere in the room, but not at the same time. So you might want to look in this corner of the room and, oh, all right. There, I saw that, and then you have to whip around to the other corner of the room to see that. That's what learning is like. You can only be taking in information from one source at a time. Unfortunately, that's just how our brains work. Now, some of you are thinking, what are you talking about, man? I can totally learn and do multiple things at a time. You're just an old man. Look at your bald head. We can tell that that's why you can't multitask. Calm down. This is why you can multitask. Because something that you do over time, especially skills, they will be incorporated in different parts of your brain. So for instance, we all know how to use a mouse on a computer. We don't think about using the mouse as we use it. That's because that skill has been stored in a different part of our brain. It has migrated to more of the long-term structures in your brain where your long-term memories are stored. Once something's in long-term memory, you can access it kind of unconsciously. That's why you think there's something called multitasking. But when it comes to learning, when you're bringing new information in, you cannot have two streams of information or it's going to cause a learning traffic jam. And you don't want that, trust me. Traffic jams are terrible. So anyway, that's the reason you think multitasking is real. It's all about different parts of the brain and your long-term memory. The last part we need to talk about, your attention gate, because there really is like an open or closed gate, okay? So that gate, right now I'm messing with it. You can see my kids just came into the picture and you're expecting kind of like Chekhov's gun for something to happen with these kids. You're barely even paying attention to what I'm doing right now because your brain is trying to multitask. It's looking at me, but it's also looking at the kids and saying, he must have called them in here for some reason. That reason was just for this example. Now get away, kids. You're even distracting me. You're even distracting me. All right. So the way your brain works is it does have a part of it that is keeping an eye on the big picture. It keeps track of the fact that multiple people are in the room. You didn't know it until my kids came into frame, but once they were there, your brain said, there are two new things that I have to pay attention to. And the more things you have to pay attention to like that, this background processing in your mind is distracted. And it's like it pulls energy away from your attention. So what you need to do is look for anything that's in the environment that's causing a distraction, even if it's just this slight pull. For instance, if you have your phone and you set it right next to you, well, your brain knows that it can pick it up pretty easily and just look and check it. Putting it in a different room, your brain knows that you have to expend more energy and more effort by getting up and leaving the room. So it's not going to feel that gravitational pull on your attention as strongly. Same thing if you have multiple tabs open when you're supposed to be doing online learning. Those tabs like, hey, what's happening on ESPN, or what's happening in this gaming news I'm paying attention to, or Instagram. Even if that stuff is there in the background, your attention is going to be drawn to it ever so slightly. Just like when I had my kids in the background, part of your attention was drawn to it and you couldn't listen to me. So my tip for this week is look at your environment and think, what is distracting me? All right, the culprits a lot of times are your phone. It could be others in the room who they want to talk to you while you're supposed to be learning. Or maybe it is even some food that you really, really want to eat. And your brain keeps thinking, oh man, I want to go eat that food. Maybe just eat it real quick and get that over with. And then your brain is spared, just like I sent the kids out of the room so you wouldn't be distracted for this last part of the video. There's your tip for this week. Thank you for joining me. And remember, for more tips and to really understand in depth how your brain works, pick up your copy of How to Wash Your Brain. There will be a link in the show notes below. All right, see you next week.